Notes on the 3-act screenplay structure. There are a couple things I want you to keep in mind as we go on this learning journey. First, the paradigm itself. The 3-act screenplay structure consists of 3 acts or sections that each serve a role in building your screenplay. Act 1 serves as your story's setup. Your main character goes from a sense of normalcy and into a new world from which he cannot turn back. Act 2 serves as the new world with all of its obstacles and complications that test the main character's beliefs and personality traits. And Act 3 serves as the resolution to all of the issues raised in Act 2. And within each act, there are key plot points or milestones that direct the main character down his or her fateful path. Act 1 contains a normality, an opening few scenes that establishes your main character's current life state. It also contains a disturbance or catalyst that serves as a bit of a warning to the main character that there are things outside of the realm of his current reality that maybe he should be aware of. And then there's the response to the disturbance, a series of scenes where our main character tries to maintain his sense of normality, a denial period, if you will. Whether it's conscious or subconscious denial, the main character has a response to the disturbance. And finally, there's the first act turning point, which springboards the main character into the whole new world that is Act 2. In Act 2, we have a secondary plot that runs as an undercurrent to the main plot. That is the subplot. Next, we have a serious moment, which I refer to as in all seriousness, where the first major obstacle appears for our main character. When he entered into the new world of Act 2, there's a bit of excitement and fun there. But now it gets serious. Then we reach the midpoint, which is a reflection of the first act turning point, usually. Most times it's an opposite reflection and is a false high or false low point for our main character, depending on what happened at the end of Act 1. And finally, for Act 2, there's the Act 2 turning point, which is a major event that provides a sliver of hope or a serious blow for our main character. In Act 3, we have a climax where everything comes together, all plot lines come together, issues are resolved, the main character's ego issues are resolved as well. And finally, we have the resolution, which I refer to as the new normality, which is a new sense of normality for our main character. And a few other notes real quick. For screenplays, the rule of thumb is one written screenplay page equals 1 minute of screen time. In other words, one page of a screenplay equals 1 minute of screen time on the movie screen. I just wanted to clarify that. In general, the acts are broken up into pieces by number of pages. Generally, Act 1 is about 30 pages in your standard 120 page or 120 minute 2-hour film. So 1/4 of that is Act 1. Act 2 is the next 60 pages or so of a screenplay, or half of the length of the manuscript. And Act 3 is the last 30 pages or the last quarter of the screenplay. We'll get into why Act 2 is disproportionate later, but all you need to know is that Act 2 is where most of the story unfolds, and you'll see that coming up in the course. If you're writing a 90-page or 90-minute screenplay, then simply divide that by 4 for the breakdown. So now let's move on to structuring your screenplay the Hollywood way. We'll get more into detail as to the parts of Act 1.